Good morning, everyone. You are watching Charlotte Black Live Morning Coffee, and I am happy to be here. I hope that you are happy to be viewing as well. It has been some kind of a week. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I really, we gave condolences out to the Bush family in their loss. You know, it's never easy to lose a family member, no matter what your status is. So we recorded a show earlier in the week, and of course, we sent out our condolences, and I'm doing it again. But to have a holiday, which really wasn't a holiday, but to have a break in your work week. I'm telling you, I don't know if that's a good thing, if it slows you down or not. You would think, right, that the break would be a good thing. But I don't know. Because I felt like the week was just dragging on. Dragging. Anyway, say all that to say I am happy to be here this morning and with all of you. We have an interesting topic this morning. We're going to talk about being who you are, being in alignment with who you are. Now, initially, that's not really what I was going to do. I was going to talk about, your passions and how do we identify our passions and things of that nature. But that topic of aligning just kept coming up. So I'm like, okay, well, we just going to roll with it. So that's exactly what we're going to talk about today with my lovely co-host, Tracy Norwood, who will be here after the break. So let's talk about what's happening in the news. Very sad story in the Baltimore area. Miss Jacqueline Smith, who was stabbed and died from her wounds. She was killed giving to the panhandlers, how they described this person. Definitely unfortunate. I go down in that area many times. Other people go in the area, and you just have to be really vigilant. You have to be very careful when you're out there. But what I wanted to say about that is sometimes when tragic things like that happen, and that is very, very tragic, a lot of us, it prevents us from being givers. And I think it's important that we stay vigilant, but don't allow it to affect your giving. It doesn't happen every single day, but it's still important for us to give. I just say you got to be more vigilant. You got to be careful. You got to be watching. And it's the time of this. It's the Christmas season, the holiday season, and you want to give, and we should. And we want to be, I don't know, we want to operate in the spirit of love and giving and not have to watch our backs. But unfortunately, when we're in certain areas where crime is high, we have to. And that's just the bottom line. You can still operate out of love even in those environments if you find yourself there. But I'm just saying be vigilant, and that's all I'm going to say about that. When tragedy strikes us a lot of times, or strikes anyone in any area that gains publicity, by our country, we often act in extremes. Nobody's going to give any money to anybody else on the street because of this one incident. And I don't think that is maybe the right way. I get it, but I'm not sure that's the right way. That's all I'm saying. Everyone operates in their own in their own way. You do what's comfortable for you. I'm just saying, don't operate out of fear. Don't allow this fear from this incident infiltrate you and prevent you from being who you are in your giving mode. Okay, I'm gonna get off of that. I don't know, you guys. I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm feeling in my zone. I'm really ready to get jumped off into this topic because I've been listening to these audiobooks, kind of like audiobooks on YouTube, and they got me kind of geeked up, and I'm like, I'm ready to talk about being in alignment with yourself and being true to who you are. You know, a lot of times we act outside ourselves. And so I'm ready to get off into that whole topic and see how you're feeling about it. You guys can see the call-in number, which I'm hoping I'm not blocking. So just make sure that if you have comments, you can call in. I probably won't be able to get everybody that calls, but maybe I can get a couple of people. But that's the number, 301-429. Yes, 9247. So just call in. So we're going to take a short break, right? And when we come back, we're going to get into the topic, and then we're going to try to allow some time for people to call in. So see you in a few minutes.
I'm your conscience. You're in a fight between will and skill. I say will first because that's where you are. You locked and loaded with skill. You practicing every day. You putting in your work. You buying everything. You making the investment. You living your dream. You walking like your dream. You surrounding yourself around your dream. You got mentors, everything. You putting your work in. You got your skill. Now it's a test of your action of making progress is progress. The push itself, the fight. You get up and swing and miss. That's progress. You get up and you run at what you want with everything you got and you miss. That's progress. The effort of making the attempt is progress.
Hey there, were you raised in the 90s? If you said yes, you've probably been called digital natives, innovators, entrepreneurs, and for sure, millennials. Maybe you don't believe in labels. Yeah, that's not you. But you are one thing for sure.
Arguably, the more important part of it is the fact that you are being the role model for the future generation.
You are reinventing the world.
Me?
Yeah, you. You may be lost at this point, and that's fine. But remember, find your purpose in life. Not your parents, not your friends.
Not what your teachers think, not what society thinks is important, but like listen to your gut and your heart and think about what it is you want to do.
And make sure it's the one.
I think a lot of us, we're amazed. What an amazing time to be alive.
Start a revolution. Your revolution. Work hard. Play hard.
If I am not persevered and follow my passion, I will not have been able to make use of my talent.
Enjoy the journey. Inspire and get inspired.
I also learned that you have to be persistent and prove yourself.
Let your purpose in life always guide you.
And if you hustle to pursue what is meaningful to you now, you will change your life, you will change the lives of others, and you will change the world.
Together, we can make a difference.
It's your time to make a difference. What are you going to do? Create the world you want to live in.
Hey!
Whew. Good morning.
How you doing this morning?
Girl, I am blessed. Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
All right.
I'm excited about today's show. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, indeed.
How are you doing?
Oh, girl, I'm doing great. I'm blessed as well. I'm happy.
Good.
I'm grateful.
Yes.
I'm
That's
just
all that
standing
matters.
in that gratefulness,
That's all that matters.
Yeah. I'm excited about the show as well. I was telling our viewers that I started off with this topic. You guys know I got my routine, right? So I go and I think of this topic. I say, okay, then I do a little research. I download a couple of articles to kind of either support or not support.
Right.
Whatever comes up, comes out. Right. So just to provide a little contrast. Anyway, I had my topic all ready and I was ready to go. And then something happened.
What had happened?
So I had a situation.
Tell us, Charlotte.
She's so dramatic. I love her.
What happened?
Okay, so I got a phone call from my girlfriend, and
I might have to have a little coffee.
I think it was. What were we talking about? Anyway, I guess the topic doesn't really matter. But she made a comment about something.
Okay.
Right. And it was a phone call, and I responded with the intent to raise her consciousness
Okay.
about the way she speaks about things. Because, I'm all on this, well, I'm not just on it, but I really believe in the law of attraction. And I have been,
Absolutely.
and I have been practicing it more so in the last few, I don't know.
Well, it works.
It does.
It actually works.
So I was trying to bring her attention to something she was doing that I thought if she modified it a little bit, it would maybe bring her closer to what she wanted instead of keeping her further away from it.
Okay, good.
Well, she didn't
receive it like that?
Receive it like that.
Sometimes we run the risk of that happening based on where the person is.
Right. So she didn't
you
receive
tried.
it. She didn't receive it that way. And then I got irritated
Yeah.
because when she didn't receive it that way, like what we often do, right? When you're trying to help me, I'm like, well, why are you trying to say that I'm this? And I'm not saying that, right?
I do that very often. Yeah.
So it was one of those situations. And now I'm feeling like, what you mean? I'm just trying to do this. What are you talking about? So anyway, this is a friend I've had for a very long time. So of course, one of the things in that was during the whole process, and this I love her. Yeah. I love her still.
It has nothing to do with
but what I started doing is I started paying attention to what was happening during the course of this process, right?
And what did you see?
And what I noticed was normally I would just be like, okay, and just leave it. But this time I was like,
you couldn't let it go, girl.
No, because it wasn't about letting it go. It's about having my own voice. I normally don't say anything. I normally just be, okay, well, I'm just going to let that go. And we're going to move on without ever voicing how I was really feeling. And I felt like in that moment, it was necessary for me to be my real me, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. I'm like, this is my girl. I'm going to be real. This is what I'm thinking right now. This was on my mind. Good, bad, or indifferent. And then at the end of the day, after I said, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling. I love you. And I'm going to talk to you later. And that's pretty much how I ended the conversation.
Well, that was a good ending, I would say.
Well, and this is what I'm saying. I only bring it up because of the process that I was going through during that whole, communication exchange. And so I started listening to, various things on YouTube that I listen to. And something popped out that said sometimes you have to allow people to be who they are, where they are. You want to bring them onto your frequency or onto wherever you've grown to. And sometimes they're not ready.
That's right.
And when they're not ready, they're not ready. And sometimes you just have to allow people, and we talk about this all the time, right? To go through their own process.
Yeah, you do. And it's hard. It's hard.
Oh my gosh.
Because you have to be, first of all, I just want to ask you, did you feel that your perspective or opinion wasn't being respected or heard? Is that why you continue to push? Because you had stated what you stated, right?
I'm trying to, okay, so.
And they didn't receive it. And so normally you would just say, okay, well, I've said what I needed to say.
Well, I think in the process of it going down, I felt that I was being met with defensiveness.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's not necessary with me. And then you get into, well, that's not what that is. I'm like, okay. So what triggered things for me was I felt like if I didn't say what I needed to say, that I felt like I wasn't standing in my own truth. But was my truth really compromising her truth? I don't know. But I felt like at that moment, right? You're telling me these things. I'm looking at it. I'm not upset. I'm looking at it. But you getting upset is making me up. It wasn't making me upset, but it's throwing me off of my positive vibe, which really she's not responsible for. I am.
Yeah, and I was just thinking to myself, if I had been in that position, because I'm trying to learn how to respond better myself.
Right.
And allowing people to be where they are.
Right.
Right. Really requires discipline on our part.
It does.
Because to continue to love and respect them right where they are, even if we disagree at that moment, we can say what we need to say and back out and perhaps look for another opportunity. So then we're not stretching the boundaries of the relationship all out of shape to the point where maybe they could be done after that, and just feel, so I just bring that up because it's becoming very important for me, and I'm trying to learn how to balance those kind of conversations without jeopardizing the relationship.
Right, and I get that.
It can get to the point where they're just so done that they don't want to come back and have another discussion with you.
And you know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be really honest.
Right?
That would be me. I would be like, you know what? For real? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm done with that. But I would never do that because that's my friend. I love her. But I think the lesson, again, the whole purpose of bringing it up is because of my process that I found myself going through during this whole interaction. And what I learned for me is that not only you have to be able to not, and I'm trying to say this without trying to be offensive, but you have to be able to not take on other people's stuff.
Absolutely.
Right? So if, for instance, you and I are talking and you get defensive, I have to not take on your defense.
Right.
And become defensive
and
myself.
That's what I mean when I say it's very difficult.
And it's hard to kind of
to
shield from somebody else's emotion and not take it on.
Absolutely.
It's like yawning, right? You yawn and then somebody else yawns. So somebody gets mad, then you get mad, then everybody mad.
It's
you gotta
easy to get caught in that way. When it's happening, yeah.
So I have to, and I don't know about you guys or anybody else, I have to kind of find a different way, right, of thinking of it so that I don't get involved in emotion that doesn't belong to me. And that's what I mean. So, you have to be respectful.
Yes.
But you also got to stand in your truth, right?
Absolutely.
And I don't know. Sometimes that's a funny. It's a funny balance. It is a very fickle. That's the perfect word. It is a very fickle balance.
Okay.
But I think
it's tricky.
Most importantly, I think what I'm most proud of myself in that particular incident is I was mindful of what was happening.
Good, yeah.
I was taking inventory of my emotions. Mm-hmm. I was taking inventory of my thoughts.
Now that's growth.
And I was able, especially for me.
That is significant
girl, I'll be done popped off
maturity as well, because for you to acknowledge and understand and take a step back even within that moment to say, I see what's happening here.
Yeah, because
you can make a different choice.
Well, I've gotten to a place, I used to be this way. I was this way before, and then I got to a place where I would get involved in the whole emotional battle.
Right.
And I would get caught up in it and like we screaming and yelling, and I that's not who I am. And I know that's not who I am.
Yeah.
That is not my original self. My true and authentic self is not that way. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's known me for any length of time knows that is not really who I am. So when I act that way, right, I feel bad. And this is what we're getting into with this topic. When I act that way, I feel bad. And that feeling bad is my indicator, is your indicator that you are acting outside of your original self. That's some good stuff.
Now, might I just play devil's advocate real quick, because I've had to learn the hard way, and someone that I really care about was mentioning to me yesterday, because I was in a place.
Okay.
And actually, I think you and I were talking last week, and you noticed that I was in a...
Yeah, you were off.
I was in an off place, and I was kind of...
You were not
very
yourself.
Sensitive, and I was not in my normal space.
Yes,
right?
You were not.
Sometimes I wonder, though, because where you said that is not a part of your genuine self, sometimes I look all the way back in my life and I realize that perhaps I have been in that. That may be a part of my original space.
Okay, so being a part of your space and being a part of yourself, in my opinion, are different.
Yeah.
You have an original, you have a you that's connected.
Right.
And you are not, that is not who you are. You know, we operate in almost, and I feel like I'm regurgitating someone else's words, but we operate almost in two separate realities, right?
Yeah.
You have like a spiritual reality,
absolutely.
right? And then you have a physical reality. So
absolutely.
So if you guys just follow me for a moment, just indulge me. If we operate in two different realities, right? And we are spiritual and vibrational and energetic beings, right? That means energy is not contained in our body, right? It extends beyond because we're connected.
Not just in our bodies, right?
It extends beyond our bodies because we're connected, right?
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely,
So right now you're sitting in my energy, I'm sitting in your energy, we're basking in each other's energy because it's bigger than us, it's bigger than this room, blah, blah, blah. We get it. So, with that being said, in our physical bodies, right, even though we're connected to our original selves, we get all this other stuff when we come into our physical being.
Absolutely.
Right?
Like interference.
Like, you know, now we have, outside of just our spiritual self and our spiritual mind, now we have our physical mind, so there's two of us. It's like two of us, right?
Right.
We're interacting over here with the world, but we're still connected here. So when I say alignment, which is our topic, right? We're out of alignment here.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because we're doing all this world stuff and whatever we do. Whatever it is, it's just out of alignment with who you originally are, is all I'm saying. When we do this, now we're in alignment.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess what I noticed is that I've been struggling to stay in alignment.
It is difficult.
And I've been struggling with staying in alignment because there's some things happening with my physical body that I really have no control over.
Okay.
And so I checked myself when that person mentioned to me, because this was now the second person that I love, expressing to me, you seem a little off. And I took a little bit of an offense, not an offense to the point where I feel like you're attacking me.
Right.
But it just made me uncomfortable to think, you think I'm off? You know what I mean? So I went there instead of taking it in that I would normally do and be like, oh, okay, well, let me see what's going on with me.
Right.
It was really hard because I was inundated. My body is just not in alignment. Okay?
And you know what? I think what happens...
It's hard for me to receive.
Yeah, and I think what happens is, if someone says something to us, like in my situation, right, and we respond emotionally, we are defending
unnecessary,
our position, which is not necessary. You hit the nailed on the head.
Because your truth is your truth.
Your truth is your truth. So you're defending your position. And if you have to defend a position, hear me now, that means you're not secure in it.
Yeah. Perhaps. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Even and it doesn't mean you're an insecure person. It means you're not as secure in that position. Whatever that thing is
within
that you're defending in that moment, you're not secure in it.
And you know, that makes a lot of sense.
That's something to address with yourself.
Yeah. So I guess you're right. I was feeling insecure from a physical perspective because there were some things going on and I didn't quite feel you didn't feel
you weren't aligned.
So I just couldn't do it, y'all, and I was just
right. And this is what I was, just from all the different things that I have been listening to all week, this is how all of this information is coming together. And it was like, when you don't feel good, you're not aligned. It makes sense.
Absolutely.
It makes sense to me, right? So, there was this guy, he was telling a story, and it was something I ran across on YouTube. Esther Hicks. Some of you may know of it, some of you don't. It's they talk a lot about the law of attraction, and she does all these seminars, and Esther and Jerry Hicks, and anyway, they had they had a guy on the show, and he was on the stage and he was telling this story. I thought it was very, very interesting. He was saying that he had been listening to all of their books, and practicing their techniques with the law of attraction, and that he was starting to really understand how things work, and that understanding that it really, really works. And he was married, by the way. So as he started to practice more, he started changing what we talk about, his vibration, his frequency.
Yes, you got to bring it up.
His frequency started raising as he started to practice, and your frequency raises when you align. As you start to align, your frequency goes up, 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 up. And so that's what was happening. He was beginning to align with who he really was, and his frequency was raising.
All right.
His wife did not like it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
she said, I don't like who you've become. And she went to this in a nutshell. She went to church, and the people said you practicing demonism, and I mean, it wasn't funny to him, because he grew up in the church, and it was an attack on him. But when you listen to it now, it was ridiculous.
Well,
anyway,
I think we've heard on more than one occasion that when you decide to make a change, that doesn't mean everybody around you is going to be comfortable with it.
Exactly, and this is what it was an epiphany for me as I was listening to the story, because I'm like, oh, I get it. So when you grow and you have friends, like I know all of you have probably gone through this at some point, right? You're going along, and then all of a sudden the friend you always had isn't there anymore, or people just kind of dropping off, and you're like, what is going on? And you're trying to reach out to them, whether it's a lover or a friend or whatever, and they're not there. It's because somebody's frequency has changed. That is what I think.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Because as we grow, everyone does not grow with us.
That is so good. Yes.
They don't.
Yes.
So I'm going to put it in terms of Abraham on, Esther and Jerry Hicks's, I don't even remember the name of this particular YouTube. It was a YouTube clip of their show. Okay. Anyway, it's kind of like being like in a vortex, like your energy, spiritual vortex. Yes. Right? So we got this huge vortex, and the way she explains it is that everything we ever thought we wanted is in this vortex of, let's call it a vortex of goodness and love and spirituality, right? This is all good stuff. When we are aligned, we're in the vortex. When we're not aligned, we're outside the vortex. We operate outside of ourself. We're outside of our vortex. So when you meet someone outside of the vortex, y'all doing whatever y'all do, and then you get into the vortex, that becomes, it can irritate them. It can disturb them because you're on different frequencies.
Absolutely.
And the way that she laid it out was brilliant. I was like, oh my goodness, I get it.
It makes complete sense to me.
I get it. I absolutely get it, because it's true.
Yeah. If you can imagine also, just a straight radio frequency.
Yes.
You have different megahertz, I believe it is, or something. So there are, even with light, there are different types of rays.
Light. Yeah.
Different types of light that come through, and they're coming through on different frequencies. Right?
That's very true.
So if one either interacts with or obstructs, you could look at it like that, right? It changes. So that just makes sense.
It does make sense.
Right? And it's not its original hue, or it's not its original vibration or sound, because it's now muffled, or it's mixing in with another. Right.
And that's the other thing that they kind of talked about. Sometimes, like when so we're all equipped with everything we need.
Sure, absolutely. I
right?
agree.
So when we are outside of ourselves, we get like an indicator, normally through our emotions, because we're sensing beings, and that's how we receive and understand ourselves, is through our senses, right? Absolutely. So we got this feeling. You guys know what I'm talking about. Feeling, you hear something, whatever it is, you get an indication.
Right.
But when you're dealing with someone else who's trying to convince you to be, I guess, a part of their belief pattern. Like, what you really should do is do this, right?
Yeah.
But this is better for you. And what you're feeling means this. They're trying to interpret your feelings. It can sometimes disable. Yes, it can sometimes disable your ability to interpret yourself. Interpret
yourself.
Did I say interpretate?
You did. It's all right. Sometimes
Girl,
a word will just come.
You know how I am about words.
I know.
Anyway, it can interfere with you hearing yourself.
Absolutely. I think that's another reason also, and I think we agree about this as well. That's why sometimes you really have to take your me time.
Oh, you absolutely do, so that you can become acquainted with you.
Well, and you got to be able to
that's what I mean.
What
is
happening so that
in
you
your
can
alignment
get back into
alignment.
Proper alignment.
Yes,
absolutely.
You need to know
it's
what
sacred.
you need to know what you sound like.
Absolutely. And what feels right
what
to you.
Feels right, exactly. And that's what I mean when I say sound right. I mean feel. No, let me correct myself. You need to know what you feel like. So I spend a lot of times, and I do things, different things that challenge me hearing is this me? Or am I thinking my way into this? Am I feeling my way into this thought, or am I thinking my way into this feeling? Difference. Very important to understand the difference. I'm going to say it again. Am I thinking my way into a feeling, or am I feeling my way into a thought? Two very different things, right?
That's real good right there.
Girl, sometimes it just open up and just come right down. I'd be like,
it's just coming to you.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Exactly.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
But yeah, that's
real good.
It is because a lot of times we think our way into a feeling.
Yeah.
It's not the right way to go.
Let me ask you this, because I've found as well, even for myself, I'm guilty as well. I think where we often can make a mistake is not taking time to make sure whether it's a feeling or a thought, which one is leading. I mean,
yes.
they say that to pray is to lift something up. To meditate is to receive. And I just
yes,
it's interesting if you have an issue that you're seeking clarity on, but you never take the time to just digest it and see how you feel and where it sits in your spirit and whether or not that is in alignment,
or where it even originates from.
Yeah, you can really miss the mark.
Yeah, you need to understand too about where it originates from. That's right.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why I'm telling you, when I told you I was going through this process with my girlfriend, and when I responded, and this was more for me, right? I separated what my thoughts were from what my feelings were.
Good.
Then I had my closing. All and right. I did that so that I understood what I was thinking, what I was really feeling. And at the end, it showed what I really felt, which was, I love you.
Yeah.
And we're having a moment. That's fine.
Right.
We're allowed to have moments.
Absolutely.
We're all human. We're all learning. We're all growing. We're all evolving.
Yeah.
At our own pace. And so what I got out of that whole interaction was I had to respect her pace, just like I want her to respect mine.
It's interesting because the way I wrapped up that exchange that was happening with me, where the good friend was trying to simply say, you're really reacting and instead of responding.
Yes.
Right.
Ooh, that's a big one.
And I had to just stop myself because I kept biting into the emotion, and I was getting offended, and I felt it. I had to just stop myself and say, but at the end of the day, can you just love me through it? Because I don't know. I feel like I have no control over this thing that I'm experiencing right now. I don't know where it's coming from. It's just random. It hits me. I feel like this big ball of emotion. And can you just love me through it, please? Because right now, in this moment, what I need is for you to just hold me. Can you just reassure me because that's what I need.
Love me through the moment.
Can you please just, because and that's unusual for me to make myself that vulnerable.
Yeah.
And it's not normal for me to always say to someone what I need.
And see, we have to do, I mean, in my opinion, people can't really, people don't always pick up
Or
intuitively
or want
and what
to.
you need.
Absolutely.
They don't just pick up. So you have to.
So you find out really.
You have to express what you need.
You have to express it.
And
right.
either they can meet the need or they can't.
Exactly.
But whichever one it is, we still need to always try to stand in a place of gratefulness.
Yeah.
Because in every situation, whether that thing works to our advantage or it does not, there is a lesson in it for us. Mm-hmm. It provides a background. It provides a contrast for us to become better and evolve to another level. We just need to look at it like that so that we're able to take advantage of that present moment.
Absolutely.
It's important. It's important for our growth. And if we don't do it, we miss it. We miss it. Now, don't be discouraged. I've missed plenty. But there's always an opportunity. Another opportunity always comes around.
Yeah.
If we set the window, if we wash the windows that we look through perceptively with more things that we want, and that's what the law of attraction is about, right? So we wash our windows with positivity, the things that we want. If we look at that way, we will start to see it even when it's not there. We're expecting it. It's coming. I know it's out there. It's coming. I see it. I know it's there. It's not that in the distance.
Right.
You will bring it to yourself. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
You will bring it to yourself. Now, what happens is, right, we all good. We done washed our windows with our positivity, and we see that good job coming. We see it down the road. We see it way down the road. And somebody else comes in and says, there ain't no job down the road. What are you talking about? There's nothing there. Do not allow people to sabotage. Don't allow them to do it.
Good.
And they don't always do it on purpose.
Yeah.
But don't allow them to come in and sabotage what you are manifesting.
You know, and it's funny. I'm glad you made that entryway, because along with our topic of alignment and people coming in to throw us off our balance, I think a part of managing our space, our alignment, and protecting it, we have to be real keen and alert and diligent, like we're directing traffic. We have to make sure we are very careful about who we allow into our space.
Well, now I agree and I disagree. Number one, I don't think that people, well, I guess there are some people who intentionally do it, and that's because they are not in alignment.
Well,
if you look at it from that perspective, it makes your approach to them softer.
Okay.
I think. Is that, okay, I'm dealing with a person who obviously is not in alignment right now. And so they are responding because I'm more so in alignment. And I hope that they get in alignment, but I know I need to move around. Just like you said. Let me just...
Well, I will
approach them with love.
Absolutely.
You've done.
Absolutely. I'm learning, though, and this might just be for me. Now, I'm just going to speak for myself. I don't know.
Okay.
I find that I'm moving into a season where I have absolutely no tolerance. So I'll identify a vibration that someone is on.
Yes.
And I may not even allow that person into my sacred sanctuary,
and that's fine.
You know what I mean? And so I'm just simply expressing we should be mindful.
We do, but when you say you can't allow them into your space, they
even relatives.
You kind of have to, because
I have to.
When you talk about space, I don't know. I guess when we're talking space and we're talking our experience, I'm seeing it different, right? So you don't allow them into, because sometimes people come into our space that we weren't expecting. They just show up. But you don't have to allow them to be a part of your whole experience.
So I think that I'm going to speak in I terms. I am more in control of what is going on in my life, whether that be good, bad, or indifferent, and that I have the power Okay?
Yes, indeed.
To determine or control whatever in my environment is working or not working. If I need to make adjustments, maybe there might be a season where I can no longer tolerate a certain thing because I'm going to respond poorly.
Yeah, and that could be true.
To avoid that, I got to make some big girl decisions.
And you know what? So
and
let me just and I'm not discounting, and I am not discounting.
We allow it.
I'm not discounting
Right?
anything you say. Let's just be clear.
Yeah.
This is just discussion.
Yeah.
Because we all have our own perspective
And how we deal with things.
So
that's
I
true.
think I agree with you, but I think when I think about that whole type of experience, I think I try to view it as, why is this person here with all this foolishness? Now, what is it in here that's got the attracting that out there? What lesson am I supposed to learn?
That's real good as
what
well.
lesson am I supposed to learn from this person? Because I was thinking about something this week, and this is what came to me. What we identify our focus on in another person
might be something within ourselves.
Can be manifested within us.
I've heard that said before.
That, and also may be a reflection of what is manifesting in us.
Yes.
That's probably a better way to say it.
Yes.
So now that person really, if you look at it like that, oh, thank you so much for showing me, because I didn't even know I had that going on. And I'm not really liking that very much. That's throwing me way off.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Yes.
But thank you for showing me. I get it. Let me go work on that.
Now, do you still allow that person to be in your space and within your experience if we're separating and differentiating that?
Well, I don't know that I identified that as somebody that continuously brings me that same thing. I mean, normally it's like, how you just, like when you run into people and you be like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? That's part of your experience for the day, right? That's a part of your space, right? So I guess maybe I got that flip-flop, because your experience
right.
for the day. Your space is something different. Your experience for the day, people can stumble into your experience.
Absolutely.
But they don't have to be in your space. There we go. I think I had a flip.
And I think I should clarify, because what I'm talking about is my experience.
Right.
And particularly my experience consists of what goes on outside of my home.
Right.
Outside of my personal life, maybe in my professional life, versus what is going on in my personal life and my personal space.
So we're talking internal and external.
We're talking
space
internal and
is
external.
More internal, and experience is more external.
Yeah, and you cannot always control what's happening externally.
That's right.
So those really toxic people at work, for instance.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You know who they are, you identify who they are, you decide in a very quick moment, we're probably not going to be going to lunch together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But they still...
However, in my personal life, I have even less tolerance now.
Right. And I get that.
So I'll be cordial and polite. I want to be a blessing to myself and other people around me. So, of course, I would handle it with love and kindness. However, I will make a very quick decision in my personal life, probably faster than I would in my professional life, because you kind of have to deal with circumstances outside at your professional environment. But in my personal life, I might just be like, nope, that's not going to work for me.
And when you think about it, though, most people in our experience, external to us, are really not a part of our personal life. These are people that just randomly fall in our life. Now, there are some who fall in and stay. And there are some that bump in and you kick them right on out. You know what I mean? It just kind of is this balance you have to find, which is the reason why being aligned and very aware of yourself is very important.
Absolutely.
Because now you're not just being reactive to people, like you're really dissecting how you're feeling, understanding where it came from. Like, this person might be good for you, but you might see them as bad because you don't understand what you're feeling. Now you didn't kick the people out. and they wasn't really bad in the first place, or
That's a really good point.
you're holding on to someone who is horrible for you because you don't understand how you're feeling and how the relationship is creating a hold that's preventing you from getting to where you need to be or where you want to be.
Now, I was just going to say that is a whole nother part of being in alignment.
Yes.
Knowing thyself.
Oh my gosh, that's so important.
Knowing your truth and being in alignment with your truth. I think that's the baseline.
Yeah.
That is the baseline.
Being in alignment with it and knowing it's okay to stand in your truth.
You got to stand in your truth.
And it doesn't, just because you're standing in your truth, does not invalidate someone else's truth. It does not invalidate it.
That's a public service announcement.
I'm telling you. Because a lot of times we think, no. You can honor yourself and honor someone else as well. They don't have to do what you do for them to be okay.
And likewise, I don't have to be offended if your truth doesn't align with mine.
Right. Just acknowledge that. Right.
We can acknowledge it and still love on one another.
And keep going.
And keep it moving.
That's it.
I love that. I love that because I think that is the dynamic. That is the good stuff. That is the foundation that genuine relationships are built on.
Yes. I think it's important that we really, really learn to respect where other people are in their experience. And it is difficult because we so, like in my particular experience, right? I'm excited about what I've learned and I want to share it. Oh, I want you to be up here with me and get where I am.
Right.
And then, you got somebody looking at you like, what?
Yeah, and they're just
what's wrong? What you trying to say about where I'm at?
Way down
I'm going to need you to back off because what you talking about or what's going on over here? And I'm like, wait. That ain't what I was. So you have to be careful. You have to be mindful.
Yeah.
You have to be mindful.
Love people where they are.
Love people where they are. When they're ready, you'll know they're ready.
Yeah. And the other thing I've learned as well, they will come or they will not.
Right. Because ready, their ready may not be your ready. They may go a whole nother different direction. And guess
you can't go.
That's okay because that's not your thing. Your alignment is over here. Your vortex of positivity and love and spirituality and alignment. That's right here. Yours over here.
Right.
Theirs is right here.
Don't you find, though, Charlotte, that it really does hurt sometimes?
Though? It does, girl.
It hurts when you get to a point where you're loving on that person. You're so accustomed and familiar with that person being in your space.
And they fall away.
And you know that the seasons have changed. And now...
And see, that's part of the problem.
The separation begins.
And let me tell y'all something. When the seasons begin to change, you feel it. And you know that there should be a separateness. You feel them pulling. You feel them trying to go on their way. And guess what we do?
Right. Instead of doing this.
And you know what happens? We make the situation worse. You tell me how many of you all out there have been in a relationship, whether it's been a boyfriend, husband, or whatever, right? And the end of the relationship is brewing. One's ready to go, and the other one is trying to hold on. Tell me, does that thing get worse? That thing gets ugly. Oh my gosh, the arguments get worse. It becomes disastrous because it's done. And you're trying to hold on to it. That's like, let me see if I come up with a good analogy. That's like you made this real good steak with potatoes and all that stuff. It's oh man. And you ate on it. You ate so much you got full, right? But you couldn't eat anymore. So you put it in the refrigerator. But you left that thing in the refrigerator past its expiration date.
Ooh. Not that I know about that, but
you trying to eat that thing, and that thing is making you sick as all else. It's making you sick as a dog. Sick. You trying to eat it, and it's steady poisoning you.
That is so good.
Who eats rotten, old, expired meat?
I think sometimes we are not aware that we might actually still want to believe in our mind.
Well, that's how come,
that it's still
and
good.
That's what makes that analogy so powerful, right? Because we can identify easily with cooking something that's really good that we want to hold on to, putting it in the refrigerator, and then that thing being old, and when we come back to it, we looking at it like, but it was so
it looks
good.
so good. It might even still smell good.
It's fine. It'll be all right.
Right. You
and
heat
we
it
warm
up.
that thing up, and we try to throw onions and for those that like onions and mushrooms or whatever we like on that thing, and make it all nice, and we cut off into that thing, and okay, well, I just, it tastes so good. We're feeding off the memory of what was, instead of looking at the presence of what's happening right now,
or our just mere desire to have that thing.
Yeah, because we're feeding off. Because what do we remember? We know about our memories. We hold those things right here, right? You looking at this steak, and it looks like a beautiful steak with all these mushrooms and garnishments. And all you can remember is what it tastes like a week ago.
Yes. And you just want that back.
And this is how we think our way into a feeling.
Ooh,
because
that's good.
We're thinking, we're remembering the feeling of yesterday, and we're thinking our way into making what is current, what's happening right now,
so good.
A part of that same feeling, if that makes sense. So we're trying to think our way back into that feeling today when that feeling was yesterday. That steak looks crazy as hell, but we don't see it because we didn't overshadowed it with yesterday's stuff.
Yeah.
Today is today, yesterday is yesterday. So basically what I'm saying is, when you clean your windows and look at that thing, you be like, oh Lord, I can't eat that.
Try to see it for what it is.
Because if I eat that, I'm being in an emergency room. An emergency room costs a lot of money, not physical money.
That's right.
Spiritual money. That takes a lot from you.
Yeah.
It has a high cost. So
that's right.
It's better to just throw the steak out and know you can go get another steak.
Oh, that's real good.
Go get you another one.
That was
fresh.
Real good. Yes.
Cook that thing and enjoy it in its moment. That's why it's so important to stay in the moment. Stay in the moment.
That's so good.
Okay, we're gonna go to commercial on that. I think I got a one. Yeah, we could. I think we got a 1 minute commercial. Give it just a little break. All right, y'all. We're gonna take a quick commercial. Come right back, and we're gonna
so much for being with us. Yes.
This morning, I have my special guest.
Good morning, all my cigar smoking people, and the rest of y'all too. Well, you know, when your kid needs that G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip and Big Mama won't let it go.
That's somebody we need to talk to. I need to understand how she worked that. Virtual shopping versus actual shopping. There was a shooting in a mall. I mean, just folks is just losing it. I don't know what's happening. We ain't got to go in the mall and shoot up the place.
No, we don't.
We get the G.I. Joe.
People get a little upset. I'm just saying.
I understand.
She was making Thanksgiving dinner in her truck.
How about that? Yeah, girl, I think there should be enough
topics associated with this. Oh.
It is. That's all right, girl. We talk because we talk on our breaks, y'all.
Yes.
That's what we do. We
when
talk.
It gets juicy.
We get us some drink of water, and we like, woo. We could do a part 2 of this right here.
We could,
and maybe we should. Maybe that's something to consider.
Let's stay open to that.
We need to consider. So anyway, it's been a good time.
I can't believe the time is going.
It goes really, really quickly. It really does. I mean,
wow, it's so much fun being with you guys.
It is.
Oh,
I really enjoy coming. Too. You know, I have to be honest. In the mornings, right? I get up and I'll be like, oh,
right.
You know, because I have to get up so early to get here.
Right.
And you got to get ready. And I'm like, man, this is just. Yeah. But when I'm on the road, I'm like, yeah.
And then afterwards, you know.
Oh man, I'm charged.
If you press forward toward a good thing.
Ooh.
It's always worth it.
Oh man, lift your spirits. It does. Do things this week ladies and gentlemen, that you enjoy, that raises your vibration, that increases your vibrating frequency and shifts you into alignment. And you'll know you're there, right? Because of the way that you feel. So when you think about like being in love or something like that, you know that feeling, you be like, oh,
yes, or just being on top of your game,
or being on top of your game, or like you just nailed this project at work. You like, try to operate in that, and let's see where it takes everyone. Let's see what the results are. Nice. So the quote for the day.
Yes.
Mindfulness is. Be mindful. Mindfulness isn't difficult. We just have to remember to do it. That's the quote. Mindfulness is not difficult. We just have to remember to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. We can take inventory. Somebody excited. So we can take inventory of ourselves. That's the mindfulness I'm talking about when we're feeling a certain way, or when we're in interactions with other people. But we just have to remember to do it. It's a work in progress. We are all works in progress. Absolutely. Evolving. So don't beat yourself up. If you miss it one day, try it the next day.
Start again.
That's right. Every day is another opportunity to get it right.
Yes.
All right.
I love it.
Well, get ready. Stay ready. Already. All right. Y'all have a great and blessed week. Miracles and blessings.
Yes.
And we'll see y'all next week.
Yes.